Hey, hi, and howdy, sweet friends. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Courtney, and I do food and kitchen content here on YouTube, weekly grocery hauls, what's for dinner style videos, and this one where I'm sharing what I had this week on the Mediterranean diet. I am doing it. No one else in my house is, just me. I'm actually really loving it. It took a little adjustment in the beginning, but I'm feeling great and I am absolutely enjoying what I'm eating. Now, I do have a few snacky meals I kind of throw together to go along with this. I will share those with you next week just so you know what I'm talking about. But typically my favorite thing to do is cook one or two big meals that will just kind of hold me over throughout the week. I don't mind eating the same thing, for a couple of days in a row. It doesn't bother me. We're going to kick it off with one of my favorite brunch because I'm not a breakfast person. This is one of my favorite brunches. I do two different kinds of avocado toast. I showed you one before with the egg, but this is my smoked salmon avocado toast. And I got to tell you, this one is so good. It's packed full of protein. It's very filling and it has so much flavor. I absolutely love it. So I showed you I'm using that oat nut bread. Any kind of really grainy bread, try to get a more healthy for you kind of bread is going to work for this. Sourdough bread, of course, is like probably top tier when you're doing Mediterranean diet, but I really like the oats and the nuts in this one, so I use it pretty frequently. Then I've got an avocado and I just mashed it up, and then I'm adding some capers to it with just a little spoonful of the juice, less than a tablespoon, maybe a little more than a teaspoon. I'm not putting any salt in here. The capers do the job. I like to mash them up with the avocado so they kind of break apart and release some extra flavor. So as you can see, that bread is fully toasted, and we're going to just top it with our avocado mixture now. I just split it in half, one avocado for 2 slices of bread, because this is a full meal for me. And I will eat this, and I won't eat this again, I won't eat again until dinner time. So I'll have this at like 10 or 10:30 in the morning, and I don't eat again until probably between 5:30 and 6 in the evening. And this works out perfectly for me because it's really filling. Sometimes I'll have like a banana or a smoothie in the afternoon if I really need something, but this definitely does fill me up. So right here, I've got these little microgreens. I love these. The broccoli ones are my absolute favorite. They have a great flavor, but you could use any kind of green you want, or spinach or something like that. Or you could skip greens and do a different veggie. Maybe you want cucumbers or you want tomatoes. Just try to get some veggies in there. So we've got, the healthy fats from the avocado plus some of the vitamins and nutrients in it. Then we've got our veggies in there, and we're going to top it with this beautiful smoked salmon. I use 1 small slice per piece of toast. My slices are not big. They come pre-sliced from the store. And I like to just tear them up with my fingers because I find trying to bite them on the toast, sometimes like the whole piece will slide off. So it's just easier if I break them apart, and it really just flakes apart. I tried chopping it, but like I said, it flakes and falls apart a little bit better this way. So I just kind of tear up each little piece and place it evenly around the piece of toast. Now, I love smoked salmon. I think it is fabulous. It has a very rich flavor, very strong flavor. So it might not be for everyone. You might want to use a different kind of, maybe just some regular like turkey lunch meat or something on here if you want it to would be fine too, or turkey bacon, something like that. But this salmon really does have a ton of vitamins in it because salmon is so good for you. And that's what it looks like. And it is so filling and so delicious. I absolutely love this meal. Okay, on to our next one. We're going to do fish and roasted veggies. It sounds boring, but it was actually really, really good. So I'm going to start off with the veggies. I've got 3 zucchinis that I sliced up, plus 1 onion that I sliced up. I have some grape tomatoes that I just cut in half, and that is a can of artichokes that I just kind of ran my knife through real quick because the pieces were big. I'm throwing in some olives. You can use whatever kind you want. I'm using the Castelvetrano. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but they're my favorite. And I'm throwing in a little bit of parsley because parsley is delicious and it just adds a little something nice to everything. Next, I'm going to season this really, really well. This is a huge bowl of veggies, just so you know. I mean, it is massive. I eat a ton of veggies with just a little bit of meat on the side because that's kind of what I've understood you're supposed to do on the Mediterranean diet. So this is a lot of veggies. I'm going to season mine with paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and a little bit of thyme. You can use whatever seasoning you like. Maybe you have like a seasoning blend you buy at the store that you prefer. For a long time, I just loved Montreal steak seasoning on veggies because it kind of has a little bit of what I like in there. And I did that for a long time, and I think it's great. So if you have something like that that you like, throw it on here. I also put a little bit of my garlic oil on there, but olive oil or avocado oil would be great. And because I love an acidic pop of flavor, I did throw some capers on here. I probably did about 1.5 tablespoons because like I said, this is a ton of veggies. I'm about to put these into a 9x13 casserole dish, and you will see it pretty much fills the dish. This is a lot of veggies. Now they do cook down considerably, but it's still a ton of veggies, and that's what you want to focus on when you're doing the Mediterranean diet. A lot of veggies, a lot of seasonally appropriate veggies, things like that. That is the main focus. And of course, you want to watch your protein intake and make sure you're getting proteins. But you really do want to focus on those veggies and fruits. So here's my casserole dish. I did spray it with some nonstick spray. I use an avocado spray that I really, really like. And then I just pour the veggies right on in there. Now, if you have small pieces of fish, you're going to want to pre-bake your veggies for probably 20 minutes. My fish was larger and it was frozen solid. So I knew that I would be able to bake this all together. I'm using some swai. I'm really never sure how to pronounce that one. SWAI fish fillets. I managed to pick these up when they were clearancing them out at Stamps. And this is, I think, the last of them that I had. But like I said, they are frozen solid. I placed them on top of the veggies, and I'm going to season them with salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. You can throw whatever you want on there. That's just kind of my go-to seasoning blend. I like it. I think it's great. Oftentimes I'll throw a paprika in there for fish. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But then I just pop this into 350-degree oven for about 30 or 35 minutes. Like I said, this fish is big and it was frozen absolutely rock solid. And it did cook perfectly. I was just keeping an eye on it. I went and pulled it out a couple times and checked it and everything. The veggies still had some texture to them when they were done, but they had cooked. I did add a little bit of broth. I use this mushroom broth that I buy. It's got really clean ingredients and I really, really like it. But you can use whatever broth you prefer. And I just popped those in to bake. Now to go with this, I did want to do some potatoes, and I showed, it might have been this exact recipe or something very similar, some lemon herb potatoes. So I started off with some minced parsley, and then I just zested this lemon right there, the whole lemon, and then I'm going to juice it. I just stuck my fork in there and went around squeezing. I don't know if you guys ever watched Rachel Ray back in the day, but she used to always fork her lemons, and that's what I'm doing because it's easy. Next, I added in some garlic. This could be garlic powder or fresh minced garlic. I'm using my CONFEIT garlic. Then I added in a little bit of DIJON mustard for the zip and the zing because I love that. We're going to season it with some pepper and some thyme. And of course, we want to throw some salt in there. Potatoes are bland, so I'm not only going to salt this, but I will also salt the potatoes themselves. I did throw in a little bit of paprika just so this kind of mirrored the flavors that are in the baked veggies and fish. And then I'm going to add a little bit of oil in here and give this a good stir. I would recommend using avocado oil for this because we're going to bake them or air fry them today at 400 degrees. And olive oil can start to burn at that point. It hits its smoke point. Avocado oil does not. So I've got some baby potatoes. These are my favorite to work with. I just love them. It might be because they're easy. You just slice them in half. I don't peel them. And maybe I just like the flavor. I'm not sure what it is, but they are definitely my favorite. I get them at Sam's Club, and it's a pretty good sized bag for $6 and some change. I know they can be pricey, but I definitely recommend these. Sometimes you don't have to eat them all the time, but sometimes they are really, really good. I just poured that little lemon vinaigrette that we made right on top of those potatoes and gave them a good mix. And I'm going to pour them right into my air fryer. I have a Ninja Foodie. It is my favorite, and I do believe it is linked below in the description box if you're interested. This thing air fries, bakes, pressure cooks, does all the things. I love it. But that's what it looked like: baked fish, veggies, and roasted potatoes. And this was a very filling meal. You can see it filled up the plate with tons of veggies. I loved it. It made me so happy. I will list everything down below in the description box. All right, finally, snack boxes. I love a good snack box because I can take these with me anywhere I go. Nuts are also a great thing to throw in there because they have protein and good fats in them that kind of fill you up a bit extra. So I'm going to show you how I made these orange flavored walnuts. You can use any kind of nut you want. I just kind of favor walnuts because I think they taste good and they're pretty cheap as far as nuts go. So I just threw mine in this pan to toast them because I keep my nuts in the freezer. It keeps them fresher longer so the oils in them don't spoil. So mine are frozen and I just wanted to toast them and heat them up. It took about 10 minutes, and then I pulled them out of the skillet and put a little bit of coconut oil in there, and I'm showing you the sugar that I was going to use. You could use brown sugar or honey or regular sugar, whatever you have. And then I poured in the zest and juice of 3 clementine oranges, and I added in 2 tablespoons of that sugar that I showed you. Any kind of sugar will be fine. I gave it a stir and I let it simmer and just kind of come together, and it forms a bit of a syrup, which is what I'm looking for. I went ahead and dumped my walnuts right back in there and stirred them all around so that they got that beautiful orange flavor all over them. You could do this with any citrus that you want. I just favored orange for this because it sounded so good and so refreshing. I let them just kind of soak everything up for a couple of minutes and just finished heating in the pan because that kind of adheres that liquid to the outside of the nuts. And then I'm just going to let these kind of cool off on a piece of parchment paper that I put on top of a baking sheet, just because they need to set, and that coating that we put on them just kind of adheres to them really, really well. They stay just ever so slightly sticky, but not to the point where it's bothersome. I'm sure if I really looked, I could find a way to do this with egg white so that they're not sticky. But this was just me throwing it together, and I'm going to tell you, I loved it. My husband loved it. I made these snack boxes for myself and for him, and he thoroughly loved them. Just let them cool for about 30 minutes, and you're good to go. Now, my snack boxes change from time to time, but I did hard-boiled eggs, some sliced cheddar cheese, a piece of fruit, which was a plum this week, and then I did some raw almonds and that walnut mixture that I just made. This was so good, and it's really, really filling. Those eggs will fill you up. So if you are feeling peckish at, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, this will definitely fill your belly. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for my grocery haul. You'll have a great week. Bye.